everybody. How are you doing today? We're doing fine. Welcome to the Funhouse. Well, here it is, Friday, the day that begins the weekend. And we both have some fun stuff to do this weekend. Aaron is pulling out his heckler experience, and we'll be going to watch a friend play baseball who he will pretend is not a friend. And hopefully the friend will take it as it's intended. Serious criticism. No, just kidding.
The friend fully expects us to be there. There's actually going to be a group of about 6 or 7 of us, so it's even better.
In fact, he'll be disappointed if it isn't loud and boisterous. And he's going to be living that saying. It doesn't matter what people say as long as they say his name right. So that's what he's got going in front of him. Aaron, have fun with that tonight. Last night did you go to the Argo game last night?
No, I was actually playing playoff lacrosse, so I had a prior commitment, but it was unable to make it. I heard it was a fantastic game.
Let me say, it was everything you could expect in a football game. It was like the dictionary of football. It had mistakes. It had make great plays. It had interceptions. It had fumbles. It had touchdowns. It had runbacks for touchdowns, catches for touchdowns, quick return for touchdowns. There was not a single. I'm trying to think. Oh, only one thing. Maybe I shouldn't. This might be a nerve for the CFL fans. There wasn't a rouge.
You can't get everything.
Oh, I even hate saying it. There was not a rouge. I said it again. I can't believe I said it again. Anyway.
Here's a question, Frank. Would it have made a difference to the game?
No, it was a 3-point difference.
So there you go.
And what made a difference in the game was both teams sucked and blew at the same time. They did suck and blow at the same time. Oh. It was an amazing game. And let me say this. I jokingly, after the interview with the quarterback, Chad Kelly, him and I were talking. And he says to me, "So Frank, what'd you think of my game tonight?" I said, "You were terrible." And he looked at me. Now, if I'd have said that to Chad Kelly 2 or 3 years ago, they would have been peeling me off the walls. He's a new man. He is a father now of 2 children. He was playing with his toddler at the end zone where the Argos come out. And he's a totally different person. And I have to say, he seems to be, and I don't think I'm exaggerating. He seems to be more accountable, or at least he verbalizes that he needs to be better every time he doesn't play well. So he's pretty much done that every game. No, sorry, I was supposed to only think that. I wasn't supposed to say it out loud. No, actually, in all seriousness, he is a guy. He's unflappable on the field. He's become unflappable after the game, and in talking to him, he is a year and a half away from playing. That's what he came into. And for him to make the kinds of mistakes that he's made, I think can be written off to little ways away from the game, and he needs to get sharp. He's made some mental and physical mistakes that are critical when you're playing against professional football players, defenders. Some of the teams that are really good defensively have made plays against him. But I'll also say, I'll qualify it by saying this. So some of the interceptions were ones where the receiver, should have stepped forward instead of waiting for the ball. While waiting for the ball, defender jumps in front, captures the ball, runs into the end zone. Not a good look for the quarterback, but not all the quarterback's fault.
Also, that's one of those things is you have to try to go to the ball if you can, as opposed to waiting for the ball to get to you.
Absolutely, because the defender's going to try and cut it off. Yeah. All right, let's get to why we're here. And why we're here is we're going to talk about hockey to begin with. And let's talk about the Blackhawks. And they have, a Centennial celebration in the works?
Yeah, to celebrate their 100 years of hockey in Chicago. November 17th will mark the 100th anniversary of their first game in franchise history. Interestingly enough, it came against the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are also going to be in the building that same night to play them on the 100th anniversary, which sounds fantastic. Now, I was kind of hoping that the Leafs would be able to get an outdoor game out of this, seeing as Chicago has had the most outdoor games of any NHL franchise, but it doesn't look like that's in the cards for them for this year. Now, the 100th anniversary game, while it was against Toronto, was actually against the previous incarnation, the Toronto St. Patrick's. So it's also an opportunity for the Leafs to break out those god awful brown pants and gloves again, along with their green jerseys. But the Blackhawks are hoping that Connor Bedard is going to be back on the ice by that time. Leafs fans, of course, will be hoping that Austin Matthews will be up to snuff as well. It's part of their whole heritage year for the Blackhawks, and I can't say I blame them. They're giving away bobbleheads for Spencer Knight, Frankie Nazar, Connor Bedard, and Alex Vlasic. That makes 10 bobbleheads given away over 2 seasons. They also had 6 that were given away last year in 25-26. There's also going to be Military Appreciation Night, Native American Heritage Night, Hockey Fights Cancer Night, the St. Patrick's Day game versus the Washington Capitals. Irony of ironies, it probably would have been better had they put the Maple Leafs in on that day, but that's okay. And then Pride Night on March 16th versus the San Jose Sharks. So a full year of festivities for them. But a really nice touch by the NHL to have the team that they first played against playing them as well on their 100th anniversary.
No brainer.
Right? Well, I mean, this is the NHL. Sometimes you wonder.
I was referring to the NHL. Oh, kidding. I don't know if you know, Aaron, but the bobbleheads are coming with a string. You pull and they talk.
Oh,
did you
what
know
are they
that?
supposed to say,
No?
Frank?
Will Chicago make the playoffs? That was so easy. Morgan Riley. Well, there has been a lot of talk, but he has not been out in public, but that's going to change.
Yes, actually, in another 2 weeks, Morgan Riley will be appearing at the Hockey Night in Brampton charity game. Now, it's going to be interesting for sure. With a new child, freshly married to Tessa Virtue, and all of these different trade rumors floating around, it will be interesting to see. He's been named a team captain for the Hockey Night in Canada, Hockey Night in Brampton charity game that takes place, meaning he'll have to be in attendance because he's a coach, and we'll have a chance to address all the trade speculation and his intentions with the Maple Leafs. It'll be a chance for him to clear the air on where he stands with the organization, whether he'd like to stay with the team for this coming season or exercise the opportunity for a change of scenery. Hopefully he'll be able to do that. Also, Chris Versteeg and Phil Orishkovic will be participating in the Hockey Night in Brampton charity game this year. So that's a good thing. It's a fantastic opportunity to get out and see some of the players, see some of the alumni. You never know. Maybe he will answer all of the questions that we're hoping he'll answer, but only time will tell.
Does it say who the benefactors are of the game?
I haven't seen that, but it's one of those things where it's sort of a rotating charity, but the usual one is the Canadian Cancer Society. So
there you go.
It's not actually listed in the article as to who it's going to be, but we can track that down.
Yeah, and what we don't know really doesn't matter because usually those events are, in fact, they do have reasons for doing for benefiting somebody in need. All right, let's go to the second period and let's talk about soccer and Ali Ahmed to undergo surgery.
Right. So Team Canada midfielder Ali Ahmed is going to miss an extended period of time after suffering a ruptured ACL in his right knee. Now, this is according to Norwich City, who announced it yesterday. Apparently, he landed awkwardly during the second half of Norwich's preseason friendly against Spain's CA Osasuna on Saturday. Subsequent CNs confirmed the injury, and Ahmed is set to undergo surgery. He actually played a very large role in Canada's run to the round of 16 in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Their next game is against Chile, which he's obviously going to be missing, and Peru on October 3rd in Montreal, before playing the U.S. on October 6th in St. Paul, Minnesota. It's unlikely he's going to be able to be back for any of those games, but we'll have to see. Norwich teammate Mohamed Touré is going to be wearing Ahmed's number 21 shirt this season as a show of support for him while he recovers.
So Prime Minister Carney, the PM of Canada, is weighing in on the fact that he has no confidence in FIFA's president, Infantino. Aaron? What?
Yeah. Well,
What?
Carney's had the experience of running a few different organizations in his time. He says that the idea that proper government is not to disclose to your closest advisors, your chief operating officer, your fellow board members, something of consequence that you're even considering, let alone proposing, should be fatal. He is, of course, referring to Infantino's desire to sell off part of FIFA Forward to private concerns, specifically the idea that he was going to sell off part of the marketing and ticketing for future World Cups to a Donald Trump relative. It's one of those things where it's come back to bite him. And Carney says, I certainly don't have any confidence in him having him do that sort of thing. CONCACAF has said no. UEFA has said no. To the Asian Football Confederation has also opposed it. He does have some support, in particular from Qatar, because they made a buttload of money there. But again, the whole idea behind having World Cups like this is not to try to make money; it's to showcase the best soccer in the world. And certainly selling off parts of the World Cup to private equity concerns doesn't fit within that mandate. So,
well,
you can understand people's reticence.
Yeah, well, the concern is that if money becomes a factor, like it isn't already, Aaron, just when it becomes overt, then it gets a little, you know what they say about perception, right? Perception's reality. If you have, if you perceive something to be true, there's a good chance it becomes reality. Let's talk about tennis and Tennis Canada.
So things haven't been going well on the men's side in Montreal for the National Bank Open.
No.
That's putting it mildly. Felix Auger-Aliassime suffered a back injury and had to withdraw on Wednesday. His withdrawal came on the heels of early round retirements by Gabriel Diallo and Denis Shapovalov, who had to retire and resign from the tournament on Tuesday. Bianca Andreescu is out. Sebov is out. A whole bunch of Canadians that were supposed to go through, unfortunately, were unable to. So while there is very little CanCon at this point, it's part of an interesting trend for this event, mainly because top seed Alexander Zverev is out. Daniil Medvedev, the fourth seed, is also out. This is actually the first time the tournament has not had somebody in the top five in the round of 32 since 1991. So 6 of the top 8 seeds had been eliminated from the singles draw by Thursday, with Australia's Alex de Minaur the last one to bow out. Cameron Norrie of Great Britain bounced the number 3 seed, and it's one of those things where everything seems to be turned on its head. But at the same time, there's a great possibility here for new tennis talent to emerge, showcase themselves, and push the sport forward. So on the one hand, it is disappointing that while you may have thought you were going to see one of your favorites play, and they're not playing now, you'll get to see up-and-coming stars, which is just as important.
When we talk about making adjustments in sports, there's always a reason why you have to be successful in making adjustments, because sports is a constant set of adjustments. The opposition adjusts to what you do, then you must adjust to what they do. What we've seen here with the Blue Jays, Okamoto has made an adjustment in July, and it's turned out well for him, hasn't it?
It has. Usually when a hitter stops hitting home runs, the easiest explanation is a broken swing. Beginning in July, opposing pitchers actually started to completely reshape their attack plan. They found a way to take away the 4-seam fastball, the pitch that had fueled his success in the rest of his offensive game. After posting a 154 WRC plus in June, Okamoto's produced a 0 WRC plus so far in August. during May and June. Usually throwing a four-seam fastball in the strike zone to Okamoto was a gamble. He punished that pitch to the tune of a 660 slugging percentage and a 426 xWOBA, forcing pitchers to stay away from it in key situations. That also helped him maintain a walk rate near 10%. Pitchers are now directing, however, every plate appearance, which is easy to see in StatCast data because a lot of it has changed. Once Okamoto stopped punishing four-seam fastballs, opposing staffs no longer had a reason to pitch around him. That adjustment became the turning point in his season. Now, the decline didn't just cost him home runs, it changed the shape of his contact. His infield fly ball rate jumped from 8.1% in the first half to 22.2% in the second half, a sign that they figured him out, which is a bit of an issue. He's been pushing for answers for the past little while. I think he's starting to turn the corner on that, though. You know, and again, the fact that his offensive output has tailed off as drastically as it has since the All-Star break is an indication that, yeah, they've kind of twigged to something. But he's, in the past couple of games, I've noticed he's starting to make better contact, more selective contact, and I think it's more a question of him being patient than anything else.
Yeah, Savage was drafted by the Jays, let's say a little lower than his reputation would have been thought of. Reason was he had a history of injuries. Then he had his run with the Jays from Class A ball to the World Series pitching as a starter. It seems his injury concerns are back again. He's on the IL.
Yeah, and it didn't take long, man. He managed 2 scoreless innings and felt a little pinch in his left knee in his first couple of warm-up pitches in the third, according to John Schneider. He said he was okay, but apparently the Jays decided they weren't taking any chances. He had apparently landed awkwardly on his lead leg, and his left knee buckled. Now, MRIs indicated the inflammation. As a result, they put him on the 15-day DL, recalled Lazaro Estrada and Chase Lee from AAA Buffalo, in addition to optioning righty Chad Dallas to the Bisons. It's one of those things where if it wasn't for bad luck, I don't think Trey would have any luck at all. You know, when he's on and he's 100% healthy, he's a heck of a pitcher. The problem that we're running into is he doesn't seem to have enough time to get on and to be on and to stay on. So, you know, he's on the 15-day DL.
Let's hope he gets better. It's nothing serious.
Fingers crossed.
Absolutely. Ernie Clement in the 10th inning gets a home run, helps the Jays win a game. Good for him.
Yeah, and it'd been a while since he actually managed to hit one. So congratulations to him on that. He sent the first pitch from Bennett Sousa into left field to put the Blue Jays over the top, which was absolutely fantastic for him. Louis Varland struck out one in a scoreless 9th inning for the win. Jesus Sanchez hit a 2-run home run to tie it in the 6th and help Toronto with win 2 of 3 games in the series. Altuve, of course, had a whole solo home run for the Astros, who went 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position, and Hunter Brown led in 3 hits and 3 runs in 6 innings. So it is what it is. Unfortunately, they didn't manage to do as well on the rubber match the next night, so that would have been last night. Alex Bregman had a game-tying home run off Louis Varland late. They went down into extra innings, and a muffed throw to third, a pickoff throw to third, went wide of the bag, and as a result, they managed to come home, and that was the end of that. It was Peter Curl Armstrong that scored in the 11th. So Valenzuela is going to have to reevaluate. But
absolutely, the Raptors could be saved on a Leonard report. Kawhi, Aaron.
Well, cause why? Basically, yeah, sure. There was the original issue with aspiration. However, there is another deal that has apparently come forward, in which he has apparently allegedly signed a deal with Daktronics, That's the scoreboard maker for the Intuit Dome, where he was playing with the LA Clippers. And again, this is one of those sponsorship deals where he doesn't got to show up for nothing, but they get to put his name on stuff. And according to everybody that they've interviewed about this thing, including a couple insiders who have requested anonymity, this was 100% to skirt the salary cap, which means his contract could be voided. We would get to retain the guys that we were supposed to be trading and the draft picks that we were supposed to be trading, and he would be out on the open market again. Now, this doesn't mean that Leonard will not face discipline, and it doesn't even mean there's no possibility of him facing maximum punishment. But when it comes to this particular deal, people are saying that they're inclined to believe that Kawhi was acting on the advice of his agent. That would be Uncle Dennis at the time. And seeing as Uncle Dennis is no longer in the picture, this could potentially solve things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Suns' Dylan Brooks.
It keeps getting deeper and deeper. So the reason why we actually put Dylan Brooks in here is because he is the unofficial bad boy of Canadian basketball. They've signed him to a $73 million 3-year extension that's going to keep him with the team through 2030. He's originally from Mississauga. He's a good Mississauga boy. Last year, he averaged 20.2 points. It was his first season with the Suns. He provided scoring and a hard-nosed defensive personality that helped the team make a surprise run to the playoffs. He's entering the final season of an $86 million 4-year deal that he originally signed with the Houston Rockets back in 2023. Now, this is also on the heels of the Suns locking up Colin Gillespie, Jordan Goodwin, Mark Williams, as well as Miles Bridgers. So they look to be solidifying their core, and they look like they're definitely making a solid run back for it next season. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up. I actually have a friend who has one of his jerseys, I believe when he played for the Scarborough Shooting Stars as part of the Canadian Elite Basketball League. So that's kind of neat.
Hey, while we're talking about the good segue, let's talk about the CEBL.
Yeah. Speaking of, unfortunately, the top-ranked Scarborough Shooting Stars were upset by the Niagara River Lions, 86-84 on Thursday. That eliminates the CEBL's top-ranked team in the Eastern Conference semifinals. The Shooting Stars finished first in the league with a 20-4 record, but unfortunately, we're missing Frank Mitchell and Javon Johnson due to suspensions for their roles in an on-court brawl with Brampton on Monday in the final game of the regular season. Now, in the other Eastern semifinal, and again, these are all single-game eliminations, the Brampton Honey Badgers, formerly the Hamilton Honey Badgers, defeated the Ottawa Blackjacks 95-91. While in the Western Conference, the Vancouver Bandits beat the Edmonton Stingers 92-83, and the Winnipeg Sea Bears beat the Saskatoon Mamba 99-88. So all four have advanced their respective conference finals, and on Saturday, it's going to be a single-game elimination with a chance to move on to the league finals, which is a best-of-3 series that starts next Wednesday, August 12th.
Let's talk about the Argos. Tell us your take on the Argo game.
Well, based on what I saw, it was not a tight game. And when I say tight, I mean clean. It was a little sloppy. Kelly was not good on that first drive, the one that got turned over with an interception. He did manage to put it behind him, though, with completions of 36, 18, and 20 yards before flipping it to Hicks on a reverse for a touchdown that tied the game 7-7. That was neat. Calgary's defense did bounce back. Anthony Jackson Jr. picked off a pass from Kelly to make it 3 first-quarter turnovers against Toronto. But Tavares McFadden leapt into the end zone to end Vernon Adams Jr.'s streak of 299 consecutive pass attempts without an interception. One more, he would have had 300. I know. So close, right? That's like getting to 1,499 games and not playing your 1,500. It's brutal.
Reference.
But, it was back and forth all the way through. The Argos ended up going into halftime with a 19-17 lead. Despite 5 takeaways, however, the Stamps didn't seem to be able to put them away. At one point, it was 24-20 At another point just out was 30-27. Then the next thing you know, by the time I pulled into my driveway at home after playing lacrosse, it was 33-30 for the final. And I was just like, this fantastic game.
Couple of key plays. It's who makes the last big play, and that's what happened, and Argos won. Let's go to the National Hockey League, our Canadian teams. Let's start with the Habs.
So it's no secret that Montreal has secretly been gathering really, really good players right under everybody's noses. One of those in particular is right shot defenseman Noah Dobson. He's actually the top goal scorer in the NHL from the right side of the blue line and has been for the past 5 years. Now, he spent most of those years with the New York Islanders, but, his impact was immediately felt in Montreal when he arrived. It stacks like those that make it clear why Kent Hughes was willing to trade 2 first-round picks and Emil Heineman to land him. It's one of those things where they've been slowly but surely making sure that they are the best that they can be at every possible position, given the resources that they have available. But yeah, he's been a quiet and a nice surprise.
Good for him. Let's talk about the Jets.
So there is one last unsigned restricted free agent for the Winnipeg Jets, and that's Terrell Bauer. The usual stories that we've been hearing about are, will Connor Hellebuck be traded? What will Cole Perfetti's next deal look like after his disappointing injury-shortened season? But then tucked away, just at the back there, is a smaller, quieter storyline, which is the case of Tyrell Bauer. According to Dave Minnick of A Legal Curve, Bauer's been skating in Winnipeg with the club's pro group as he readies himself for the coming season. He's 6'3". He was picked 6th in the 2020 NHL draft, and has spent his entire pro career to date in the organization's system, playing all 4 of his pro seasons so far with the Manitoba Moose. He's had a little bit of a difficult time in his first 3 seasons. He only had 16 points and was a minus 39 in those 162 games. But as time has gone on, he's slowly been working himself back into it. He finished at a plus 11 last season with 5 points in 52 games. He also set a new career high in penalty minutes, sitting at 110 for the season. Now, he was the Manitoba Moose's AHL Specialty Man of the Year for community contributions, and it was also recognized with 2 separate Manitoba-based community service honors. So there's a lot that he's doing behind the scenes that makes him valuable to the club and valuable as a presence for the club. It's just a question of whether or not his game is going to develop it well to the point where he'll be able to get regular rotations with the big club.
Absolutely. Let's get greasy. Let's talk about the Oilers.
We should definitely do that. Devin Levi has been trying to send a message so far. He's been sent down to the AHL before the season ever started and never came back up. The Sabres already had Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen locked in as their guy. He spent the whole year playing in the A, and on July 1st, 2026, his nearly 5-year tenure in Western New York ended with a phone call that sent him and a 2028 7th-round pick to Edmonton in exchange for a 3rd-round pick in the draft. Now, the Oilers have been burned by goaltenders before. Talbot, Skinner, Pickard, Jari. It's one of those things where they've had issues. Now, I think they thought they might have had it solved because they picked up Freddie Anderson, who was actually signed just hours after Levi was. He's on a 1-year, $1 million deal, and that's Anderson, which is just redonkulous to me. Jerry stayed put. He's still signed for 2 more seasons at $5.375 million. Levi is going to hit restricted free agency next summer. Jari becomes extension eligible that same summer, and roughly $26 million in cap space opens up for Edmonton at that time as well. So there is a very realistic possibility here that Levi could turn into a viable 3rd option for them, which will make things more interesting because Frederick Anderson is also coming up for renewal at the end of next year. So
Absolutely.
It's look to be an interesting pickle.
Over 50 years involved in the National Hockey League, Kelly Rudy is no longer under contract, or at least is not signing a new contract with Sportsnet.
Yeah, he retired in 1998 and immediately embarked on a broadcasting career from there. He rarely worked on HNIC and on Calgary Flames regional broadcasts. He's now 65, lives in Calgary, played 677 NHL games for the Islanders, Kings, and Sharks, and reached the Stanley Cup final in '93 with the Kings. He was part of a studio crew rotation that included Ron McLean, David Amber, Jennifer Botterill, Kevin Bieksa, Luke Gazdick, and Elliot Friedman. But as it turns out, Rogers' own Sportsnet has made changes to its national NHL broadcast, which are no longer airing on CBC. And unfortunately, they decided that they were not going to renew his contract. So it's not that he's been fired. It's that he's reached the end of his contract and they've decided
he's not been rehired.
Renew. Exactly.
It's not been rehired.
It's a gentler firing.
Well, things change. It ends up being a situation where being new is I think a motivation, a change. They say a change is as good as a rest, and I think he's had a good run. Good for him, but it doesn't last forever. But you know what? If anybody disproved that, it was definitely him. Over 50 years involved with the National Hockey League. His life's going to get interesting, and more power to him. Good luck with whatever he does in the future.
Yeah, it's not exactly surprising either. I mean, Rogers has also closed 6 radio stations in 4 Canadian cities, and that was just last month. That includes radio stations in Calgary and Vancouver. This shouldn't surprise anybody because while Rogers did lay out a ton of money for the broadcasting rights for the foreseeable future, they also spent another $4.35 billion to buy out the 25% remaining stake for the Maple Leafs from Kilmer Sports.
Whenever they make acquisitions, that's usually what they do. They end up parting with people. It's just what Rogers does, and I think that's a corporate thing. It's not just something reserved for Rogers. It is what it is.
At least they didn't pull a bell and fire people on Mental Health Day.
It's a corporate thing. Well, listen, Aaron, enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the heckling. Make sure you drink plenty of fluids to make sure that voice of yours can carry. And make sure you make your friend happy, that you put him down as playfully as you possibly can.
We do it because we care.
That's right. And let's not forget that. He's Aaron William Freeland. I'm Candid Frank Stanishi. Thank you for watching. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. Until next time.